Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For those that have been with us from the start, thank you so much for participating, for consuming the last 3 videos. We hope you've gotten a lot out of it. For those of you who might be joining us for the first time, please go back and take a look at the other ones because some of this may not make a whole lot of sense. Today, we're not going to do all of the review that we did. We will do a recap just to remind you of a few things, but today we're going to dive right into a quick review of the framework. Then we're going right into scoring, and then we'll recap the last few weeks. So without further ado, Mr. Barwa, take us away.
Again, thank you for those of you who have been with us for this entire ride. We've had a lot of fun, and we hope that you have as well and learned a thing or two along the way. So just as a quick recap of the BFO ESP framework, which hopefully most of you are very familiar with at this point, we started our first video series with goals and metrics, setting the goals and metrics that we're going to be using throughout this activity. In video 2, we moved on to brainstorming and going through all the opportunities and tactics and ideas that we can pull together to be able to achieve those goals and metrics that we set. Then in the 3rd video, we scored all of those tactics individually to have everybody have an opportunity to have a say in what they think the priorities will ultimately end up being. And today we're going to show you how to take that scoring and go ahead and turn it into a prioritized list. Finally, this is something your team's going to do on your own, or obviously you can work with an agency like BFO, shameless plug, to go ahead and execute against those priorities and test to see if they're helping you to hit those goals.
All right, a little bit of refresher on scoring. We gave you 3 keys to score against: revenue, time, and cost. You might change these for yourself if you need to, but really think about what the benefit or the opportunity is for your business from each of these, and then start considering how much time and how much it's going to cost you. Because what happens is, if it's way too expensive or it's going to take far too long, it might not score as high despite the revenue impact. It might be something you do further down the road. So as you look at that when you're scoring, you will have built your scoring sheet by now, and Josh is going to take us through how to prioritize those things.
All right, so once again, whoever was the facilitator for your group, whether internal or external, make sure you thank them because all of this has a lot to do with them. So now that everybody's gone ahead and provided their scores back to the facilitator, you're going to go ahead and take those scores, facilitator, and put them into an organized format. For our purposes, we went ahead and we created a template that we're going to share with you that you can use. If you're using our template, you can put those, you can copy and paste those directly into the op prioritization _ facilitator tab for each one of the corresponding participants. Again, if you're using our template, what's really nice is that all of the scores will automatically calculate for you because we've gone ahead and added a little bit of Excel wizardry just to make your life that much easier. And then finally, the final scores will show up in the summary tab, again, if you're using our template, so you'll have a nice place for that. So all you're really doing is doing a little bit of copying and pasting. The very last step you're going to do is go ahead and sort the summary tab from the largest to the smallest value, and you'll start to see that you're going to have a nice prioritized list after that. So bada bing, bada bang, you did it. Now you have a prioritized list that you can work from and that your team can focus on. Finally, you can go ahead and review with your team one more time, just because your team may want to make some final adjustments. You may find that there's something in there that maybe showed up as priority 5, but the team truly feels that it should be priority 1. That is okay to make those adjustments at this time, because you want to make sure that your team's focusing on what they're comfortable with and confident in that's going to help you to achieve your goals. So just to real quickly show you the template, just as a reference point. So I'm going to go ahead, what I did as the facilitators, I went ahead and I took all of the scores. I created tabs for each person just to keep it all in one place. You don't necessarily have to do that. I've gone ahead and filled out most of the op prioritization facilitator tab information, but I'm missing the revenue for Steve. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this information over to that tab at this point and see. It's a real simple copy and paste. The scores automatically calculate out for you. And then in our summary tab here, you'll find that once everybody's scores have been added to that sheet, you get a nice sheet with the final scores. I've gone ahead and already sorted this. If you're using our Google template, it's real easy to do. You just go to sort from Z to A. It organizes everything for us, and you'll see that we've got a nice list of priorities here for Steve and I to hit our goals in 2022.
And to echo on what Josh said, bada bing, bada bang, get to work. All right. So a quick review of where we've been. In our first session, we talked about goals, setting SMART goals. And the keys to this are really making sure that we've got a few things in place. Measurement. I want a really discrete number that I can measure against. And I'm a believer that without a time constraint, goals don't really exist. And then finally, I say this with love, don't be crazy, but you can be if you have to be. If there's a BHAG out there, a big, hairy, audacious goal that you need to hit, certainly put that crazy goal on the list. You know, we want these to be achievable and attainable, but sometimes if we're pivoting a business or we're climbing Mount Everest, you need to put the crazy goal on the list and be able to get to it. But by putting it on the list and making it time constrained, you can back up from there and figure out exactly how to achieve it.
And then once you have those goals and metrics established, you're going to go ahead and start your brainstorming session. So again, as a quick recap, you're going to go ahead and choose whether or not you're doing it remote or in person. We know that we're living in a COVID world right now, where oftentimes remote is the easiest thing to do. We always love to do it in person if we can, but that's just helps you decide what tools you're going to do, you're going to use. Again, you want to have a facilitator. As you can see, if you've watched all the videos, the facilitator has a big role in this process. So go ahead and make sure you've got somebody that you can count on. A lot of times we use third-party or outside facilitators just because it makes our lives a little bit easier and you don't have somebody really trying to take control of the process and everybody's on an equal playing field. Then you choose your tools, whether it's a whiteboard in person or a virtual whiteboard like Mural with the link at the bottom to the example that Steve and I used that you can use to go ahead and do your brainstorming activity. And don't forget to define your rules. You want to have some rules so that everybody feels like they have a say in what's going on. And then finally, just go ahead and get after it.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. So if I was going to choose a Willy Wonka meme for this slide, it would have been candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. However, given the context of the slide, yeah, we needed to have one about scoring. And the key to scoring is to put the ideas together, bring together your scoring definitions, make sure you're on the same page, and then deliver that to each person. Each person has the opportunity to score the projects. Now, here's the thing. If Josh and I are working together and he's my facilitator and I'm not comfortable with 3 or 4 items on the list, I should probably talk to him about my lack of comfort because he may just say, Steve, please don't score those 4 items. Because if I don't know anything, I might artificially deflate or inflate the scores. So I might want to not score those few items. Now, what happens when we're done is the facilitator collects everything. And guess what? My job as a participant is largely complete. The facilitator is going to take the next steps for us.
And then facilitator, you're going to go ahead and you're going to organize those scores like we showed a little bit earlier in this video. The scores are going to be calculated, and then you're going to simply sort your results by the score, and boom, you've done it. You've got a prioritized list that you can work from. And just as a quick friendly reminder, again, review with the team. The team may feel a little bit differently about some of the items. Something that might be priority 2 or 3, maybe really it should be a priority 1. You can make those adjustments as a team if the team agrees.
Yeah,
we've gone ahead.
I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
We've gone ahead and provided you with a with the link to the template. I know the URL strings are not pretty. Sorry about that. But we will also include that, and you can always email us if you want a copy of that.
Apologies as I got ahead of myself, but I was just going to jump in and say thank you to everybody. Happy stratting. Thank you to all the people who sent amazing questions our way, especially that handful at the bottom, starting with Marty McFly there.
Wanted to really, again, thank everybody for joining us. We've had a lot of fun. We hope you have too and learned a thing or two. As always, you can reach out to us via our email address, webinar@befoundonline.com. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. We're also happy to walk you through this process, but we hope the video series helps your team to be able to complete this.
Thanks a million for spending some time with us. We look forward to the next chance.
Take care. Bye-bye.